Hey guys, this is going to be, I guess, magazine part 2 because we need to install the magazine tube into the actual exhaust now to continue. So to recap what we just did, we installed the bolt and lifter and I got it working, so I'm going to actually do a demonstration of that real quick here. So there is a shell on the lifter, it's just sitting there and just pushes in and gets pulled out. I'm having a few, Ellie. So that's about that. The magazine is going to come down to cutting off this whole, I don't know, guide thing down here. I just put in a fresh blade, so I'm going to do that with my knife. And I guess I'll show maybe some technique here of what I do. So when you have something like this and you need a straight line, you can actually hold it against something else like this and get, I'm not getting a good cut, but you can in theory hold your blade in one spot and get a solid cut. God damn. Can't seem to right now. There we go. Do it. Right. Alright, the moment of truth. Let's see how well the cuts went. You know, this is super rough fitting. So yeah, just goes in like this essentially. I think I need to clean those parts out now. And this will actually need to be kind of like inserted like this with this rim here. So it just goes like this essentially. And clearly right now, if you look at it, it's angling down. We don't want that. We want it to be straight. I need to clear out more material on the bottom here. Okay, more dremeling has happened. Let's check how straight this is as best as we can. Hold it down at this end and up at this end. I'm gonna just eyeball it with a ruler. This one's a see-through one. That's pretty good. Okay, you know what? I think we might need to do the shell stop. Well, we can rough fit the shell stops in. This one needs to be further forward, so it's got to be about here. So what that tells us is that we're gonna have to cut some of the. We have to cut the magazine. I'm going to draw it so as best as you can see it. We have to cut slots out of the actual magazine tube so that the shells can move out of it and so that the lifter and shell stops can all work. So the right side of the shell holds all the components and the left shell goes on top. I have done some hot gluing here and here to get the shell to the magazine to the right side of the shell. There won't be anything holding it on the right or on the left side. It needs to be sturdy. I'll do like DevCon or something on the inside. I also cut out, and you'll need to do this too, so I'll have to pull this apart so you can see. These lines here are for the shell stops to come out. I can show what they're like, kind of like this. So because of the way that the sizing needed to come out, the shell stops actually come out like this, out of the shell itself and out of the magazine tube, and they sit forward. They will like pivot. Now that this is in place, I also cut, there will be the barrel here, but I cut sort of a channel here so that the heads of the shells will be able to slide past. I can't load it through the bottom yet. I haven't made the loading port. So I'm just going to feed them through the top here. That's problematic. Okay, so it looks like the breech and the magazine, I hadn't realized this was going to be a problem. We're going to have to clear out a little bit of material on the bottom of the bolt or the breech. That's not a big deal, really. It just takes some dremeling. But it's kind of obnoxious that that has to happen. Anyway. So, this is hard. Okay, so you can see the shells coming through the top here. and then coming out. Because of the size of this tubing, there's no way to actually have the shells be totally hidden in the magazine. You could maybe like cover it or something. You could build up like a flat with the barrel and the magazine tube so that there's no visible line between them. No one's gonna know to count your shells though in your magazine. Ellie, why are you doing this? So that's not really a concern, it's just like aesthetic. It's okay. So, yeah. Anyway. That about covers the installation of the magazine tube. When I get to the shell stops, which will actually probably be the next thing. Well, okay, that's not all there is, actually. This tube here, the hole in the pump grip needs to go from a tube this big that it goes around, which is pretty small, to a tube this big. That's more than like twice the size, you know. So the only way I've found to do that is a metric fuck ton of dremeling in here. So we're gonna take like a round bit, dremel out all the way, and then we're gonna do that on the back, and then we're gonna take a flat bit, like a cutting bit, and just cut straight down in line with this. So that worked on the other one, so that's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, I got the pump on. So all I did was essentially cut a three-sided squarish shape through here, and then seems to be sturdier than my other one, so that's kind of good. The other one wobbles just a bit, which kind of makes me sad. So I'm gonna take a look so you can see I cut all of it out. There's like a flat piece at the bottom here, gone. All of this is gone. We probably will have to make some adjustments back here in these two spots to interact with the shell stops. I'll cover that when we get to the shell stops. See, because you can see primed all the way back. You can see the shell there, primed all the way back. The shell stop is going to hit it. So we're going to have to cut out some clearance for that. I believe with the first one I also had to modify the shell stops. But so now it's starting to look like an ASG, and let's look at that. That's starting to look like something. So I'll probably at some point cut out the barrel. Not right now though. I think I've hit my quota for the day of modding, to be honest. We'll go from there. The next thing that I guess really should be done is you should cut out the ejection port. This is really simple. I'm just going to include it here in the magazine video. It needs to comfortably fit a shell in. They should go in and out really easily since this is where you're loading them. Make as much space as you want for yourself to feel comfortable loading it. On my other one, I think I left it narrowed at the back here, but I actually am going to recommend that you cut all the way back to the magazine release so that you can have a little more clearance to load shells just a little easier. My other one loads shells really easily, but I can't do double loading or anything like that, and it might be possible with a larger clearance here. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you for watching, guys.